God, that's so funny. For those, I'm just watching it on the YouTube. So, these Zoom boxes they have for podcasting, they have the little, canned whatever. So I do the applause. Thank you, Pugsley, thanks you. And then it's got this funky little intro beat, which to me is hilarious, but it just, it's appropriate because this is Jerm, Rants, Raves, and Reviews. And for the viewing pleasures, this is Pugsley, the podcast dog. And we're actually shooting this the same morning, so it's no surprise that I haven't changed my shirt. I haven't even put on deodorant. No, wait, did I put on deodorant? I probably did, but that was a while ago. But I got the same mug, so everything's kind of the same, except for this would be, this is actually going to be the first true episode of Jerm, Rants, and Raves and Reviews. Today, kids. So, I stole that from Kevin Smith. He was on the radio a while back, filling in for some people. And dude's hilarious. We're about the same age. Basically different worlds. I'm from skateboarding, art, and music, and just a punk rocker, and never really got into comics or anything. Which will be a future review, actually. I can probably go over that. But his humor and the way that he approaches things is just, it's genuine and it's fun, And so that makes it listenable. And I didn't really know much about him, the Clerks and all that. My wife definitely did. And I'm a slow learner and I'm catching up. So he says, all right, kids. So I stole that from him. So shout out Kevin Smith. You'll never read this. So hey, today, previous episode I probably have brought up, I do landscaping for a living, right? Here in California, the governor, not only does he hate pretty much anyone that's not rich, or at least that's the way it seems, because, they're all politicians, lizard people, or whatever you want to call them. But one of the things in California is they're trying to do no carbon emissions and all that, which I applaud. Save the planet. So stop having a driver in these large SUVs, politicians, who you are and who I'm talking to. But for the rest of us, so the main people that are getting hit hard are the landscapers, these people like me. Just trying to earn a living. We've been using gas tools for a long time. And actually, this is going to be kind of a rant really quick, but so a buddy of mine, Ray, he's down here at Washington Service and Repair. And he repairs gas-powered machinery, lawnmowers, rototillers, line trimmers, blowers, the whole kit and caboodle. I mean, the dude is really good, really affordable. He's a good friend. He loves Halloween as well. But he's really, really talented at what he does. But now that everything's being shifted over to where basically no emissions except for all the emissions made to produce all these batteries and all these indestructible and non-recyclable things. So the landscapers now have to switch over to battery power. I resisted. I don't like battery powered. But obviously I have to roll with the punches and I have to go with it. And it is, in the long run, it's good. If I'm using, my broom more than I'm using a gas powered, blower, that is better for the environment, obviously. But it also makes it difficult because the way that these things are priced are like, if you're just a small scale like me, try to keep prices affordable, not a corporation. I don't have employees, so it's real, bare bones. You get what you get. You get me and my silly little vest, and I'm mowing your freaking lawn. So I started switching over to, because Ryobi's at Home Depot, so I guess shout out to Home Depot. Not sponsored by, and I've been buying the Ryobi tools, which they have there. Not sponsored by. God, I should do like it. Thank you. So I got my manuals here, and I was using this one Ryobi leaf blower, and it's part of the 1 Plus 18 volt series. And I was using the one, and it worked out, it's decent. was affordable, but unfortunately for me, the day I have to charge my batteries every day, and I have upwards of probably 10 batteries at this point, so I have a few $100s in batteries. That's the downside. And then someone might say, well, you use that much in gas, and then the oil additive, and blah 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 blah, and sure. If I was a math nerd and took the time out, I could probably justify how much electricity I use daily strictly to charge the batteries versus how much gas I'd be burning. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. So I've heavily invested. I'm not sponsored by Ryobi by any means. But this new blower, so I decided to upgrade. The wife and I go to Home Depot, right? So V and I'm looking for the one that I was using because I just burned out a second one because I do, unfortunately use it a lot. I work a lot, and so she had seen, and then we start looking at this other one. It was an upgrade, and I'm like, okay. So, for those of you in video land, here's a manual really quick. What? So it's the upgrade from I would say you get the first tier homeowners one, which worked pretty good for homeowners. You still have to use a rake, and it's, you have to broom every now and again. You have to do some labor as well. But the next one, it's even got a variable switch on it. That's the only thing that I'm kind of nervous about because it seems kind of flimsy, but I haven't had any problems with it yet. And the power of this thing, I'm impressed. I really am impressed. Let's see if I can find some stats. I don't even have my glasses on, so it's going to be virtually impossible to read. But, so, I think it's like $100 with no batteries. Like I said, I've already got a ton of batteries. I even upgraded to the I call them the double wide. Instead of the skinny ones, it's a double one. So it lasts a little bit longer. And, realistically, in the time that I've been using it, I'm impressed. It's a little bit louder than the first ones that I used, and burned those out. Oh, actually, it was funny. The last one, it started to catch on fire, so I kept using it just for shits and giggles. Why not? Let's see if it'll blow up. It's not a Tesla, so it's not going to burn for 6 hours or drive itself into a wall or whatever they do. So right, that would have been good for a laughter button. But nonetheless, okay, let me get serious here. So I'm using this blower, and I'm quite pleased with it. It works really good, and I'm actually impressed by how efficiently it does work. So in the long term, another expense, but then again, another tax write-off, supporting my local Home Depot, supporting Ryobi, what you can do. Plus, you have to freaking go to Arizona to get a gas blower, or, I don't know, they're just making it more and more difficult. So, I give this, if you have to use one and you don't want to spend like $200-300, and you're just a small-time guy like me, few accounts a day on your route, I like it. I like it. I'll give you the numbers. The PCLLB01. Excuse me. Ryobi leaf blower. I like it. Okay, so quick story. So I've been here, this place, I think it's like 17 years at this house, but renting from the same guy for almost 20 years now. I have not had a single vehicle, and I've had a few, that hasn't been either tires sabotaged, broken into, vandalized in one way or another. Other than that, had 2 windows shot out of the same vehicle, had another window broken out, and then was alerted at 2 a.m. by the people who witnessed the whole thing and didn't do anything about it, and then got pissed when I came out in my underwear, staring at him going, "What the fuck are you doing at my door at 2 o'clock in the morning?" Yeah, well. So, I had to get a new vehicle because, again, here's part of the rant part, and then I'll get to the review part. I needed a tune-up badly on my truck. It's been a while. Started to have some problems. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to take it in. Took it into a local guy. Giant payment later. Well, actually, no. Fixed the problem, then found another problem, and then they killed my starter, so then they added that on, and then with all the labor for that. So by the time I finally got it and paid him a bunch of money, we drove it for a day or two. Check engine light comes on, take it back. He tells me that there's these other problems. All right. So then by the time I get there to assess and figure out what we're going to do about that, those problems are no longer a problem, right? Like a typical mechanic. So then there's another problem. So at that point, I'm like, no, I'm not going to give you any money. I bring it home, ended up selling it, blah, blah, blah. We got a new vehicle. Not even, I would say probably 2 or 3 days, maybe a week later, a little notification comes on. Bam. My tire is going flat. Check it out. There's a freaking nail in it. So, because the head had already gone on it, because I'd driven on it, and then it finally started to leak. So, I'm like, all right, I'll just plug it. I did the same thing for my wife's car last time that she had a tire sabotaged. And so, me just being stressed out and trying to work as much as possible, because now I got a new freaking truck payment, right? So I drove on it like an idiot. But I used to use one of these, the Ryobi mini air compressor, right? Same 1+ battery you throw on, and they work freaking great. I had the first one from one of the other times that my tire got sabotaged, and then I would go and take it to a place and have them patch it, or I'd get a new tire or whatever. But I had it for a few years, right? And it wasn't one of the digital, it was just, the dial. But now they're digital, and I upgrade. I'll get to it. So, as you can tell, I have this problem with neglecting my tires and then finally getting to it. But I use the one so much. I was literally using it once every other day or so. I mean, I got my money's worth. I got your money's worth. I got some other dude's money's worth out of my freaking little air compressor. The thing is worth its weight in gold. Everyone should have one of these, no matter what, in their vehicle. That with them also, I would highly recommend a battery charging system. Just one of those portable ones. I have one. I believe it's made by Tesla, which makes it seem kind of weird that they would need one. But it's a really good one. I also have another one. Oh, I don't remember who makes that one. It's a bigger box. And it's just a portable battery charger. Another good thing to have, just in case. Especially now with all this crazy weather, right? So, all right, let me get to the point. I went, and for our viewing people, here's my little manual and a bunch of notes and stuff, because I was doing measurements for a job. And so I got the new one with the digital. And this thing is worth its weight in gold, man. I really dig it. Again, it's just another Ryobi, and they're not sponsoring anything about this. And I actually got this one on eBay. So it was a good price. It was actually, it's crazy. I didn't even think about this, but when you return something, you open it up and you're like, whatever, or you use it once and you stuff it back in and you take it back to Home Depot and they actually do return it. Well, I got one, it was box opened, so I got a deal on it. But it's worth its weight in gold. I mean, I really dig the freaking machines here. So, I guess, I'll wrap it up now. Ryobi, I'm stoked on these two tools. I'll give you more of an update and a little bit of a rant in there. But those are my reviews and my raves. I'm stoked on them. I'm really stoked on them. Still not totally used to switching over to batteries. I understand the importance, but I also think that there's other ways that we could make more of an impact than just picking on the landscapers. And that's another rave. I'll leave that for another time. But for today, I want to thank you for joining us. This podcast, Jerm, Rants, Raves, and Reviews, will be found everywhere you find your podcasts. Remember to also check out the Union and Metro podcast, and that's where myself, Jerm, and my co-host Jerry, we talk with band members that used to play the club and whatnot. You can find me on the Facebooks, on TikTok and Instagram at Jerm Adams, 2Ds. YouTube at Jerm Warfare Productions. Red Rum Skates is our company. The band The Left Outs. Remember to like, subscribe, tell a friend. If you got some things that you want me to review, comments are welcome. Keep the asshole shit just to yourselves or whatever. We don't need that spewing. Realistically, I'll just freaking, erase it, delete it or whatever. I don't need that. I seriously don't. I live next to some of the most insane psychopath neighbors. I don't need any more of that. For the podcast world, here comes a funky song, and I'm out. Thanks for joining us. Yeah.